Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Zija International's Biz Talks. My name is Amy McKenzie. I'm an Emerald executive with the company, and it's a great privilege to be hosting this call tonight for our Triple Diamond executive, Mr. Fred Holmes. He is on his way to Cincinnati to our launch of a very exciting product that we'll talk about tonight. And I have another privilege. I'm going to get to interview one of my favorite people in our Zija family, who is probably one of the most experienced people I've ever gotten to know and work with. But before I dive into all that, I want to take a moment and welcome all of you who may be hearing this information for the first time tonight. Now, maybe you're invited by a friend or a colleague, someone who let you know that this is meaningful to them, and they thought perhaps it might be to you as well. We're going to cover a few topics. When professionals look at an opportunity, there's a few things that they consider. The first one is leadership. And, my analogy is if you were going to take a ship across the Atlantic, you'd want to make sure you had a really good captain, right? That's leadership, and we have that in spades. Then you want to make sure the ship is really seaworthy. It's got everything, the best of the best. Well, we have that too. But finally, timing. Because timing is everything. If you're headed to Norway, you don't want to do it in January, right? You want to make sure you get that sweet spot. And I got good news for you there, because that's right where we are with Zija International. Now, to help me really give you the bird's eye perspective from a very experienced person, I want to introduce Mr. Dwayne Dyer. Now, this is a really special man. He's spoken in over 40 countries, so it's a real privilege to have him here. He has literally been featured in a multitude of business publications and journals, and he has authored several key educational training materials, not to mention decades of experience, very successful within our industry. In fact, he's a Diamond Elite with Zija International. Really can't get much higher than that. So it's such a privilege, Dwayne. I'm going to bring you over and plug you for some information, if I may. 1 second. Let's see. There we go. And I'm going to promote you over to us so we can hear from you directly. All right. Hi, Dwayne. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedule, especially now. I think you're muted, though. Let me see if I can unmute you here. Where are you? Where's mute? Isn't that interesting? Hang on, folks. I'm having a little technical difficulty here. And
there you go.
There you go. All right. Wonderful. Thank you. So it's a privilege to have you, Dwayne. And, the one thing I forgot to mention, the most important of all is how kind you are. I am so grateful to the help and support, leadership that you've given me, and you don't even directly benefit. We're not even actually connected directly, except as Zija cousins, like we like to say. And yet you've always offered your help and support, and I just can't tell you what that means to me. Thank you.
You're welcome, Amy, and you are. I'm doing this with you tonight because I have tremendous respect for you and for Fred. And Fred's just a tremendous leader in the organization. He welcomed me with open arms, literally, just a true professional. And when he asked if I would, be willing to be on a Zoom call with you as the host, I didn't hesitate at all. I said, absolutely. And even though we call ourselves cousins, it really, they say a rising tide raises all ships. And it is so true in our industry. If we help one another and we protect each other and we make the organization grow together, it benefits all of us. And it benefits us directly because we have an opportunity to, increase the volume of the company, which allows them to produce new products and research and science. Also, when you become part of the Emerald and, from Emerald above, you're participating in different pools. And at Diamond and above, you're participating in a very unique pool the company has, which we don't talk about very often. And in my 32 years experience in the industry, this is one of the first company I've ever been associated with that actually has a pool for diamonds and above to participate in with the growth of the company. And so what that does is it pretty much unites us together in wanting to have each other to grow and be successful because, again, it directly raises all shifts, but it directly raises all income levels of diamonds and above as well. So It's called the Profit Participation Pool, the PPP, and it's very exciting. It's something that's been done here at Zija. And like I said, I don't know of another company that actually participates in a profit sharing with its distributors. So distributors and employees. So that's exciting. So anyway, great respect for you and for Fred and all that you do. And I'm just honored to be here with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. I really appreciate that. Well, I want to plug you a little bit for some information because your perspective is so meaningful. You've experienced a lot of companies and a lot of leaders. We've got it from the top down. Talk to me a little bit about what it means to you to be in a Ken Brailsford company.
Well, I appreciate that. I've known Ken Brailsford and his story for more than 30 years now. When I came when I graduated from university, I went to work as an operations manager for the W.R. Grace Company out of New York. And following W.R. Grace, 4 years, I went to another Fortune 100 company called Procter & Gamble. And I was with Procter & Gamble and Unilever, which sold our division one form or another. We were Unilever and then Procter & Gamble. And then I joined a company called Nature Sunshine Products out of Spanish Fork, Utah. And it was a company that was founded in part by Ken Brailsford, a significant part. Family-owned business, and Ken developed that into a substantial organization and got to be introduced to the operations of Ken. And my job was to manage the international operations, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the United Kingdom, and we opened Mexico. And we did well there. I was there 4 years and really enjoyed it. And then following Nature Sunshine, I ended up in another Ken Brailsford company, this time Enrich International. It was founded by Ken. I call it the sister company to Enrich, if you will. And I was again director of international operations, and then worked my way into vice president of international operations. I reported directly to Ken, and we opened all the countries I mentioned, plus we opened Japan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, other countries throughout Southeast Asia, and started to expand also in Europe. And we actually became the 65th fastest growing company in America by Inc. 500. And I was very impressed with Ken and Ken's ability to put what I thought was great management in place, but beyond that, to actually put the foundation in place that would make for a long-term profitable organization. And we don't talk about that as much as probably what we should, but when you look back, both those companies are very strong, financially strong, stable companies today. And for most part, because the foundation was laid correctly by Ken. And we see the same thing now at Zija. Ken, of course, is a member of the board of directors. He's chairman of the board of directors for Zija, and he's very much involved. In fact, he was just in the office yesterday, very involved in the organization. And it's exciting because this is his crowning jewel of a company. He said this is his last one. His greatest asset now is his time, because he's not a young man anymore. And Ken wants to have this one be his shining crown jewel. And so, we're benefiting from that because we're part of that organization now, of the shining crown jewel of the final one. And with all those years experience, I started in 1987, and if this is 2019, that's about 32 years, I think. And Ken was at least a decade before that, so he's got 40 plus years of industry experience. I don't know of another active person who's chairman of the board who has as much experience in actually starting, growing, and developing organizations from the ground up. And this will be, without a doubt, his crowning jewel.
Wow, we could spend this entire conversation just on Ken, couldn't we?
We could. We could easily. I think the most important thing to take home on this one is the fact that we're in very solid hands with Ken as the ship's admiral, if you will. The one who makes sure that it stays on course. Ken is the one you'd want to have. And I don't know why on earth you'd want to be anywhere else but with a company that has that kind of history behind it as its senior management team.
Well, thank you, Dwayne. You were absolutely the perfect person to ask that question of, given your plethora of experience in so many different venues with him. And now on this side of the fence, you're getting the real benefit of what it is to be in the field of a Ken Brailsford company.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, in the field, what we look at, is product, because we're not going to get behind something we don't believe in. I know we have there's almost too much to cover in product. If you can, kind of give us from your perspective, the bird's eye view of what is so special about what we have and why.
Well, again, it goes back to the credibility of the people that formulate and put the products together. It's so strong. Again, you have this terrific industry experience. Plus, you have this tremendous integrity. I think that's the key word I'm looking for here, is the fact that with this team, the scientists and the manufacturing team behind the products, that because of their integrity, they're not going to shortcut the products. So the science, the research, and we see that in all the products that we have in this organization are just incredible. They're not me too. Me too products are when you take a synthetic vitamin and mineral and you throw them in a capsule and you throw it in a bottle. And, we did that in the 1970s. But fast forward that, to today, and what we do is we find a product like Moringa oleifera, which is, has this tremendous, you just go to Google, and if I say it out loud, I'll probably have 3 Google devices go off here somewhere in my house. But if you say, okay, Google, tell me the most nutritional plant in the world, it'll come up. Or Siri, tell us the most nutritional plant in the world. It'll come up Moringa oleifera because of the vitamins and minerals and the credibility behind it. And Zija dominates that Moringa oleifera market share. Zija now dominates the mangosteen market share. I came from having been involved 16 years with a company called Zango, which Zija acquired in May of 2017. And we dominate the mangosteen category, and it was a perfect fit and marriage into Zija. And so now we're out to dominate this new, exciting, CBD category. And, Congress has finally got it sorted out correctly. Back in the 60s, they lumped it all. They lumped the product category of cannabis all into one category, and they didn't, fully appreciate or understand or take the time to understand, because of the abuse of the recreational use of the female side of the plant, which is the marijuana or the THC side of the plant. And they completely threw out the baby with the bathwater by the medicinal side of the plant, which happened to be the male side, which was the and I don't mean to be sexist here, I'm just stating it as it is botanically with the plant. The female side has a beautiful flower, of course, and the male side, but the reality is that there's this beautiful medicinal use of the cannabinoids that are in the cannabis plant, the hemp side, which is not marijuana. It has no THC or extremely tiny amount that's doesn't even show in a drug test. And Congress got it right. They sorted it out with the Farm Bill and actually produced this. And the market now in the CBD market is about 500 million. And Forbes is projecting the CBD market to be 22 billion in less than 3 years. So that is a tremendous wave that's coming very rapidly. We see it everywhere now in the United States. And Zija, again, has proven that they can, do things unique and better by taking 2 unique forms of CBD, sourcing an incredible pure CBD oil, which has much less than the 0.3% THC, so that they have this pure medicinal side of it, and then also have the powdered form. So they have 2 forms of CBD, and they put it in a transdermal square I was going to say patch, but we don't say patch. We're saying you're smiling, Amy, because you know what happened in Dallas and what's going to happen this weekend in Cincinnati is we're marketing it as the square, where the square. And by having this so unique in this transdermal delivery system, it bypasses the gastrointestinal tract. It has more and powerful absorption. They can actually track the absorption. We saw the graphs that were done by the doctors where they actually measured the CBD content in the body, and it was far and away above anything that the competitors have that's taken orally or by a rub-on. So again, Zija is proving that by investing in the right medical team, the scientists and researchers behind the product, that they will lead the industry again. And of course, as representatives and distributors of the company, that gives us a tremendous leg up on competition. And it really gives us a superior product to represent at a very competitive market share price. So if you take a $20 billion industry, we as I mentioned, we have 80, 85, 90% of the Moringa oleifera market. We have 80, 85, 90% of the mangosteen market, which is very powerful. If you take anywhere near just 10% of the CBD market, we would be over $2 billion in annual sales within the next 24 months. And Amy, I have to tell you, that's a lot of PV that's going to be in the pockets for those of us who are distributors of the company who are representing it, because that's what the company does. It pays us to be the spokesperson, the sales team, if you will, for the organization. And we really don't sell. We just share what we know in our testimonies and the belief that we have in the credibility in the product and the research and development. We just share that with others, and the company rewards us very well to do that. So I know these are long answers to short questions, but I just get excited because we really do have a very unique opportunity to be on the leading edge of something very, very, very big. And I have to tell you, that one day sales in Dallas was over $300,000 with about 1,000 people in attendance. And there's going to be about 1,500 people in attendance in Cincinnati. And all reports will be, they'll probably exceed that 300,000. So within a week, we could have had sales well over $500,000 going well into $1 million in just that short of time. And that's a lot of PV again. And those are just two meetings. And then there's a whole host, for those who are interested, there's resources where you can see the whole host of after launch meetings where they'll have regionals all throughout the United States going through March and April. So it's exciting. It's fun to see what's going on right now.
It is, and it was the right answer, because it's really important to understand the efficacy, the care, and the fact that, you know, if I could be so bold to say that we're delivering plant medicine in a sense from a pharmaceutical grade facility, that's huge.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
no,
right.
very complete.
Some people like to term it phytonutrients, plants, you know, but, you know, the same thing would be plant chemicals. It's, you know, phytonutrients, plant chemicals, we're saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's huge. You know, thank you so much for that very specific answer, because I think it's what people need to know. It's not a me too, that's for sure. We've been category creating with every product we've brought into market in almost 13 years. And this is, I think, I will never give up my Moringa. I love how well it marries to the CBD, and I've never seen anything as exciting as what we have in front of us, or as instantly responded to from people, right? Yeah. And I'll just let people know they might want to go on clubmoringa.com and watch the interview you did with Diamond Elite Pat Anderson, because I know you don't share your product story very often, but you were so excited by what happened to you that you actually did share your product story there.
Yeah, it's very true. I don't share too often. I do share, you know, others. I pretty much enjoy pretty good health, and probably because for the last 31 or 32 years, I've just been involved in the health and nutrition industry. And I have to tell you, Amy, this is the greatest industry to be involved in. I've told people, even if I had never made a dime in this industry, and I've made more than a dime, but even if I hadn't, it's been a huge blessing to me and my family to just be educated on natural health, natural health products to natural health solutions. It really has blessed me and my family, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It's been a huge blessing to me to be involved in this industry, and the fact that not only that, but financially, it has been extremely rewarding. And the most rewarding thing for me now is when I can help others to reach financial success. That is what motivates me every single day to get up and to get active every single day, is the fact that we can work with others and help them reach their goals and dreams and aspirations. So it's exciting. It's a fun industry. It's the best industry, in my opinion, the best industry you can possibly be involved in.
Well, you certainly walk your talk. I'm a witness. And you're an inspiration in that regard, if I may say.
Oh, thanks.
Let's take a moment and touch now. Just, you've got decades of experience. You've seen companies at all different points in time. Why is it now? For someone new taking a look at this, why not wait a month or come in next year or even next week? What's your answer to that? Why now?
Well, this is a big wave. This CBD wave is big right now. And we're already seeing, I drive up my Interstate 15 freeway and there's a gigantic billboard that says CBD and has a phone number on it. And I thought, good grief, it's everywhere. Now it's really hitting hard. And when there's very, very, very few industries, I've seen it before. Joel McNitch said it very well the other day at the Dallas event when he was talking about one of his companies he was involved in, the telecom industry, and how it exploded when the mobile phones came. And first it was pagers and then cell phones. And then we saw how dramatic an industry can change overnight. And it literally did. In 2 years, that company went to 1.8 billion in sales in a very short period of time. And it's incredible what can happen when you have a wave like that. And so, normally I would say, it's good to get in and get educated and, follow that process. And that is good. That's what we want to do. But this one you don't want to wait on. It's hot right now. This is red hot. It's everybody's asking me for product. I brought product home and I looked and I thought, how can I be out of so much product already? I just brought 6 boxes home. I'm down to my last 2 boxes. And I said, what happened to it? Where'd it go? It's because everybody, from family members to neighbors to everybody, you just have to mention it and people say, I want to try it. I want to try it. Everybody wants to try it. So this is hot. And the media is helping with the education process as well. So when you have the timing of such a unique product, timed with the media getting so much attention right now, and the fact that Congress finally did get it right, where with the Farm Bill and having the states now accept the CBD and having it be able to ship and people actually be able to try it and then actually get the benefit and experience their own testimony, that you don't want to wait. You want to be involved right now with this.
That's right. And sitting on top of the foundation that Mr. Brailsford and his family created for us, wow, that is a perfect storm. No question about it. And by the way, all I have left is enough for me too. And I came away with 6 cases too.
Wow. That's awesome.
People can pre-order. They should get with the person who invited them, because they're really, really giving us a blessing with the opportunity for people to get a free wholesale customer site, pre-order. They've just gone out of their way to make it possible for us to succeed. We get all kinds of upfront money for getting started. And then, of course, you talked about the PPP at the back end. There's really something for everyone, no matter what level they want to achieve. Even if they just want to be a customer and share this, they're still going to get free product.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And they can order now. You've got the link here. You can give out the link. People can order right now, and it'll ship April 1st, which is right around the corner, just a week and a half away. But that link, I don't know if you want to put up the link, Amy, or just have me share it here, but it's www.zijaintune.com, zijaintune.com. And they can go on. You have to have a Visa card, because Visa is the one accepting CBD orders. But zijaintune.com, and place your order. You just have your distributor ID number, and then it's like a 2-click process. Simplest thing I've ever seen. Place your order, and then it will ship on April 1st directly to you. So why wait? I'd say get going. It's definitely worth the try.
Dwayne, I can't thank you enough for taking your time. I know you've got a lot of people waiting to hear from you and get more patches and squares. I did it. I just so appreciate your expertise. The clarity with which you've given this message today. I think this is going to be a highly shared video. Thanks to you. We really appreciate you so very much. Thanks for all you do for all of Zija Nation and taking care of every last one of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy, for having me. And my best to Fred Holmes. He's a champion. And whoever's in the Fred Holmes team, they've got a great, great, great leader there.
It's true. We're very lucky. All right. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and head you on over for our last few notes here. And just for those of you that are just joining us, I want you to know we have a lot of things in place. I mentioned clubmoringa.com. Pat Anderson, #1 woman in the world, has a beautiful health talks every Wednesday. She records them. Last night was with Dr. Ben Bowers. It's wonderful. You can hear Dwayne's story and a plethora of other great material. You can also tune in on Saturday mornings, the same time and station, so to speak. Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Pacific. And you'll get kind of a training, fast start training. It's called the New Distributor Training, so that we can help you just get started. A little different topic each week. Fred will let you know about the fast start training he has available on his YouTube channel. And it really just kind of helps you get dialed in and get started. Monday nights, our master distributor, David Moses, does Millionaires in Training. And it's one of the most inspiring things to plug into. There's tools, there's training, there's really anything you need. We got apps, whatever you want. However you like to do this, we have a way for you to do it. So please get back to the person who invited you. Go ahead, peel it and stick it. Get that square on you. See what it does for you. And come join us. Come play in our sandbox. We're not only having fun, but we're making a difference in people's lives, not only in their health, but in their pocketbook. Whole families, whole communities are getting turned around with our natural health revolution. So we invite you to join us. Thank you, everyone, so much, and have a great rest of your evening. Good night.